Rivalry, presented by AML Media. Today's question is, a carefully planned vacation versus just making it up as you go. The format will go as follows. Each person will state their case with 5 minutes max, and then the floor will be opened for counter arguments for 2.5 minutes each. Then we'll tally the score, and the winner will be proclaimed. Let's flip a coin to see who goes first.
Call it.
Tails.
Never fails. Heads.
Heads. All right, buddy. Show me what you got.
So my argument is that it's much better to plan as you go.
Okay.
Okay? And let's just set aside, you're going to know where you're staying. But that's it. Because when you go to a new place for the first time, you want to experience not just the thing you're going to do, whether it's a concert or whatever, a museum, but you want to embrace the city or town that you're in. And if you pre-plan everything that you're going to do when you get there, you create a bubble and you kind of isolate yourself from really getting in there and exploring the city that you're going to visit. You know, some of the biggest experiences and learning experience that you're going to have in, say, a Cleveland is going to the local mini mart or going to the grocery store or going to the, liquor store and really getting a feel for the people that live there and how they interact. And also, I'm a big proponent of driving. I think you learn a lot about a city by driving around. And if you go on a trip and just kind of settle in and follow an itinerary, it lessens the experience for me. And also, I prefer to have a day where there isn't a thing or place to go to or experience, and you just kind of do what you want that day. You know what I mean? Maybe you ask your Uber driver what we should check out. Maybe you find the most popular restaurant that all visitors should go see. And then also, I think it's good to get out of the environment, like your Airbnb, and see what the neighborhood's like. You know what I mean? That's why I love the Airbnb, because you're not stuck in the hotel where all the amenities are there, but you have to go out and, you have neighbors. You get the learning experience from kind of playing it, off the cuff. And also, I think you can overplan, and it becomes kind of a stressful thing because you've got times for everything. You need to go to bed at a certain time so you can wake up at a certain time. And, I just think it feels less like an experience when everything is set in stone before you get there. And then lastly, I'll just close on my argument by saying, if you plan everything ahead of time, you lose the wiggle room to have something come up. If something comes up that you didn't expect, maybe you get a flat tire, maybe, a road's closed or there's a big traffic jam, suddenly the itinerary is thrown off course. And then everything gets discombobulated. And also, when you go by the seat of your pants a little bit, there's a little anxiety and a little bit of courage to go off the beaten path. You know what I mean? Because you're not so locked in to appointments and certain places you're gonna go. So, in closing, if you're gonna plan everything ahead of time, you're not gonna have that room to go with the feeling of, hey, let's go check out a park, or let's go let's go to the waterside and just hang out for a while. You know what I mean? And I've been on lots of trips that have been planned ahead of time, and really what happens most of the time is you end up just staying in your hotel room or Airbnb for most of the trip. You end up just hanging out inside your little bubble. Okay? And you don't get good stories that way. So, yeah, I think you should, aside from your living situation, you should wing it a little bit on a trip. And that's my case.
So that's your statement?
That's my argument.
That's your argument? I am going to start this by saying I'm sorry I'm about to obliterate you.
Okay.
Okay. Now, this is nothing. You're my brother. I love you. We grew up in the same household. Let's just start by, okay, you say a tire blows out. All right, a tire blows out. Everything can be rescheduled. We're in a modern world. Alrighty. So let's start there. But vacation planning, you brought up the word anxiety. Nobody wants that. So you're saying the anxiety brings happiness. I think happiness brings happiness. I will agree with you that an Airbnb is the way to go. Now, obviously, you're going to plan where you're staying and what you're doing. I, as well as you, I'm going to want a day to sleep. Guess what you can do? You can always plan a day to sleep. You can always say, hey, we're not doing anything that day. Or, hey, maybe these are the tickets you can buy when you get there, type of thing. I also, I got lucky enough to go before you, so I got to write down some notes. So I will take that as stuff. But the biggest thing I'll say to the modern, normal, middle class, you save so much money when you can plan things. I'm talking about meals, and not even just the price of meals. Sometimes you go to a big city, you go to a place, you need to have a reservation to get in those places to get a good meal in you, to get the nice steak, to get the fancy dinner or diner or whatever the hell you want to do. Also, when you plan stuff, I've always been someone who I'm bad at it, but I love it, the anticipation. When you plan things, I get to go for 3 weeks. When you're working at 9 to 5 and things suck, you get to go. You get to brag a little bit. Boys, I'm going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on Saturday. I know I'm going to go hit that steakhouse later on, and then Sunday I'm going to hit the bagel spot and then get to go and, go to whatever. Where we went, we got to go to the Football Hall of Fame. Also, what planning does is it takes away some dangers, I think. Now, you personally like to explore, but we learned first-handedly in Cleveland, exploring isn't always the most fun thing to do. And go back to previous episodes and you'll learn I watched someone throw pasta through a window over a simple pizza fight. That we got shitty pizza, and it took us 2 hours to just get not even mediocre food. On top of that, I'll add, maybe you get to build a playlist. We like music, right? So, well, maybe it's a little corny. I've seen the way you roll your eyes. I had no emotions. Let's add that for the court. But sometimes it's nice to build a playlist. People like to do that. So if you know what's happening, you get to pre-plan things like that. And then also, you're not the biggest eat breakfast type of thing. But sometimes people want to wake up and eat eggs before they have to go and do their whole day of chores. Or not chores, or, whatever they have going on. Last thing I'll close with is, like I said, you can always cancel stuff. So, you can't always cancel stuff, but a lot of times you can make a plan, and if you plan too much, was I think one of your things you're saying, you can plan too much, you'll feel overwhelmed. overplan, cancel shit. The stuff that you don't have to pay for, cancel it. Last thing I'll say before my closing argument is planning takes away anxiety, and every group of people you will travel with, there's going to be one person that has anxiety, and he could ruin the trip, because I've ruined trips with anxiety. My closing argument, you should plan your trips as much as you possibly can, people.
Okay, Steven, let's hear your rebuttal.
Okay, start the timer, Rachel. First off, obviously, to clarify, when you go on a trip, you obviously have a destination that you have to plan. There's a reason you're going. So I'm not saying you pick a city and just go there. Okay, let me clarify that first. I think this is a fundamental difference between what you want and what I want. Because most of your argument was kind of the case I was making, which is like you're over-regimenting everything that's going to happen, and it kind of takes some of the excitement out of it. I want to have the unknown. I want to not know exactly what we're going to do hour to hour, minute to minute. I would say that the most interesting things that happened on the trip that we recently went to Cleveland was the shit that wasn't in the itinerary. Watching you walk into that weird, crazy liquor store and hanging out in the parking lot in a totally different culture than we've been around for long periods of time. That was some of the more memorable things that happened. When we had to go get cough medicine for Rachel, we had to go to a couple different pharmacies because they're all gated up as if they're prisons, and they didn't even have what most pharmacies have. So you also don't have to make reservations to do everything. We could have went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the NFL Hall of Fame without booking a time. So I think it's a fundamental difference, and I think mine is the bolder, cooler way to do things.
Okay, so now I get my rebuttal, correct? I will start off by saying I don't know if you're correct that you can just show up and get tickets to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Probably, but if it's on a busy season, they do like to try and make sure there's not too many people in there. So I'll start there by saying I don't know that situation. But I will say what you called watching me walk into the liquor store exciting was me almost shitting my pants. Now, does it make for a good story later? Yes. But if I got jumped and lost all of my credit cards, that's not fun. We're talking a difference of Cleveland to all of the other ways you can travel. If that was Punta Cana and I was in some random store, I might have not walked out of there, and who knows what the hell would have walked, if I was going to exist anymore. The other thing you're saying is the excitement of stuff. I guess you like to walk on a certain edge differently than I do. My excitement is being in a different place, experiencing different things that I know is going to happen, because we live in a world of uncertainty. So I will close this up by saying planning is the safe way of traveling. Yes, there are fun things can happen, but I'm also I don't want to jump out of a plane knowing if I don't have a parachute or not. Okay, so we'll start there and we'll end there.
No. Final word is the final segment. You got to give me 10 seconds.
Okay,
and then
go 10 seconds. Go ahead.
Final word. What you are arguing for is fear-based travel, and I'm arguing for adventure-based travel. Final word.
What I'm saying is we are both middle-class people. I'm paying a lot of what is a big percentage for me for travel. I want to know what I want to get out of it. When I become a millionaire, yes, maybe I'll take more adventure out of it. Okay. And I think that's a good segment there. And we're going to end always because we do travel together.
And yeah, we were able to travel together. So it's not it's
we
all
always
good.
want to end I think these segments we have a lot of fun. We travel because of something like that, and all of the clashes we have.
That's what the sibling rivalry is all about.
The yin and the yang,
Right.
the citrus and the salt. What's the cooking thing? Regardless, the yin and the yang. I'll stick with that.
Sweet and sour.
Sweet and sour. There you go. We always have that, and you need that in your life. Rachel, do you want to end us with some words? What is your, I guess, synopsis? Trying to look for big words here.
We will tally the score now.
We will tally the score now. So we got to put it into we have a huge computer here, basically like NASA, that tallies our score. Yeah, it's behind that wall. You guys can't see. We got to tally it. So give us a second for the computer to work.
The scores are in, and the winner is